Hi all, it's Ali here. I'm out in the garden shed. I call it a shed, but you know, it's actually become a little coffee house. As you can see, we're doing it out and got the coffee and tea stuff there. People could come in for a counselling session or just to chill out, free of charge. And of course, Rolo at my feet. Say hello. I don't think he's going to say hello. I think he's going to try and get the biscuits, though, the little devil. No, we've even got his pot of, look, his little pot of biscuits here. Here you are. Do you want one? Go on then. Give me some peace while I make this video. So, here we go. Just over 2 weeks ago, I'm going to concentrate first on my ankle. Just over 2 weeks ago, I woke up, having done an evening of cleaning. I woke up in the morning and my ankle was agony. But it wasn't so much my ankle at that time. It was more the heel, the bottom of my ankle. And when I stood on it, the pain that went up through it was, oh God, it was unbelievable. It's like someone putting a knife up it. So I left it a couple of days, took some anti-inflammatories, did the normal things, put a bit of ice on, you know, had some chocolate, do the things that heal you most. And went then to our minor injuries. Now you have to remember this our minor injuries is not an A&E. It should be, but that's a whole other topic I could moan on about for our little town. Anyway, we've got a minor injury. So I went in there, and that day, just by luck, there was a really, really nice guy there. He took an x-ray. He said, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. He said, but I think you've got the right symptoms for something called plantar fasciitis. He said, he said, now I'm a sufferer of this, he said, and I feel sorry for you because it's a blighter of a thing. Now, I didn't have a lot of swelling particularly. I had got a little bruise on the inside of my ankle. He asked me how I'd done it, and I said I wasn't too sure. I thought I might have banged my sort of one of my ankle bones inside. But I wasn't too sure at the time. And he said, I think that's what it is. You're going to have to get yourself some shoes that have got really high insteps in. I mean, I have actually got a very high arch to my foot anyway. So he said, you need to get these high insteps and make sure you've got a soft padded on your heel. And he said, you might be on crutches for a bit. It can be very painful. But he said, we might be able to give you an anti-inflammatory jab if it goes on for a long time. So that's what happened just over 2 weeks ago. About a week later, it got worse, and I thought, oh, he'd said to me, come back if it's not getting any better. And I thought, it's minor injuries. I don't know about this. But I'll check with a GP. So I got an emergency appointment with my GP. Well, it wasn't my GP, it was one of them in the practice. And he said, just by luck, he's the one that does the anti-inflammatory jabs. The steroid jab, he said, I'm telling you now, it's the worst you can have. It's agony. I said, I don't care, this is agony. I said, it's getting worse. I've noticed a bit of swelling. He said, I think it is plantar fasciitis. He said, do you think it's plantar fasciitis? And I thought, well, until 7 days ago, I'd never heard of plantar fasciitis. But I'd read everything up on it, and I couldn't believe just how painful it could be. I'm sorry about the lighting. It keeps going lighter and darker, doesn't it? Anyway, so I said, but I Googled it. So I said, I've become very knowledgeable in the last 7 days about this condition. And I said, but I'm not totally sure that it is. But he said, look, I'll tell you what, I'll put you in for 2 weeks for a jab. If it gets really bad, I'll jab you a week earlier. But I'm going to squeeze you in because at the moment, our waiting list is about 7 weeks. I said, oh, thank you very much. You're really kind. Anyway, a few more days went past and I thought, oh my God. So we're getting to the 10-day mark. The outer part of my ankle was getting bulgier and bulgier. And I thought, this is not plantar fasciitis, I've done something. But I thought, well, minor injuries did tell me to go back if it was getting worse. I know that they gave me an x-ray and I haven't got broken bones. So I thought, I'll go back. Well, I went back. Oh, I bloody hadn't. This time I saw a shitty woman. Actually, she wasn't shitty, but she said you could tell she was pissed off with seeing me. She said, well, we can't do any more for you. no, sort of like that. And I said, well, okay then, but you shouldn't have said to come back. Or whoever had said shouldn't have said to come back. I'm just standing up because my boiler suit's getting all funny round me. Anyway, that's better. Oh. So, today I thought, I'm done. I'm done with this, right? I can't stand it any longer. And I had an appointment through to see the physio, not for my ankle. This was a different appointment that was months ago, and it was to do with or weeks ago now, to do with my shoulders. That's the least of my worries were my shoulders. I need something for my bloody ankle. So I thought, well, it's okay. They'll let me see someone for my ankle. Maybe I can see what they say. When I rang up, she says to me, this is physio department now, remember? I said, I'm a bit bothered about my ankle, really, rather than my shoulders. I don't really need to see someone for my shoulders or my neck or whatever. I said, I can deal with that. I've been dealing with that for years. I don't even know why the bitch of a woman, that was the bitch of a woman that I saw regarding my elbow, by the way, that you might have seen 2 or 3 videos ago. Anyway, she was the one that had put me in for this physio, which I didn't feel I needed in the first place. But I said, could I come along for my ankle? No, you can't. You'd have to be referred for that. I said, hang on a minute. I said, my ankle is part of my body. A physio learns from top to toe. Surely someone could deal with my ankle. No, you'd have to be referred for that. So I thought, I'm speaking to a robot. I said, hang on a minute. I said, isn't that a bit like going for a run? So if I went for a run, fell down, twisted my ankle and grazed my elbow and maybe bumped my head, I'd have 3 different referrals to see the physio for different things. That is not me making fart sounds. If you can hear this, it's my dog speaking to me. Rolo, what do you want? You're interrupting my flow. It's bad enough me keeping on task without you interrupting all the time. You want to say hi again? Is that what it is? What is your problem? Well, I'm sorry about that, but I'm in the middle of a video. Anyway, so here we go. I'm saying, I'll give him another biscuit. Go on, take that and go and bury it. So she said, well, I'm sorry, that's how it works. So remember this. You have to be referred. It doesn't matter if say it was my ankle, or it was my knee, or it was my arsehole. I'd have to have different referrals for each part of the physio. Okay? Have you ever heard of anything so lunatic in all your life? This is the national health. This is what we've come down to now. What bright spark decided that would be a good, set for resources when I could have had that referral and actually used it for something more important that I've got at the moment. So that was the end of that. I said, no, I won't bother coming at all. That was it. So I cancelled that appointment. I then processed cancelling. Oh, no, then what I did was I rang my doctor to give me a phone call back. They're at doctors, and I said, look, I'm being a right pain in the arse about this, but I mean, oh, they'd also said, by the way, I'd forgotten one point to this. They had said, oh, it's a soft tissue injury. I thought, this is more than a soft tissue injury. It's really painful. It can't be just a soft tissue injury, whatever that might be. Anyway, so then I had a phone conversation briefly with my doctor, who also sounded a bit annoyed. And she said, well, the only thing you can do is come along to an emergency appointment this afternoon. I'll put you in with a lovely doctor that I know up at the surgery. His name's Dr. Venter. He's rather nice, he is. But anyway, I thought, okay, fine, I'll come up then. So I went up and saw Dr. Venter. There were other things I had to do as well. I had to go and see... Oh, it doesn't matter about that. It's all too complicated. My whole day's been so complex. And anyway, so I went up and saw this Dr. Venter. I said, now look, I said, they're telling me it's only soft tissue injury. I said, I'm a bit concerned. I'm walking about on it because that's what I've been told what to do. But at the same time, I'm having to use crutches. I'm icing it. I'm taking anti-inflammatories. 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 I'm taking anti- and it's not getting any better. In fact, it's got worse in the last 2 and a bit weeks. And he said, well, it's getting worse, he said, because it's actually, he said, I can see exactly what's happened. You've torn ligaments. I said, how could you? I thought, has he got x-ray sight then? Has he got x-ray sight? Torn ligaments? Okay. I said, if I've torn ligaments, then have I got plantar fasciitis? No, he said, you haven't got plantar fasciitis. I can see that. It's bulging out. Your ankle's bulging out. He said, I can see you've got torn ligaments. So he said, it's got to be. He said, and that's a soft tissue injury. I said, really? I said, surely a soft tissue injury wouldn't hurt this much. A torn ligament would. He said, they're the same thing. I said, well, why didn't they say that in the first place? We could have just skipped, 3 appointments. I said, they didn't tell me that, did they? They said to me it was soft tissue injury. I assumed from that they meant it wasn't a big deal. I said, to tell me that it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks or more to heal or to be without searing pain, I said, is not, to me, what I imagined a soft injury tissue to be. A soft tissue, injury to be. So he laughed. He said, I think the problem we've got here, he said, with the best will in the world, he said, and I do have seen you and I do know you, is the fact that you do not sit still. And to you, 6 weeks must seem like 6 years. I said, I tell you what, the fact that I've had 2 weeks almost with my feet up and that is just killing me. I said, it's driving me nuts. I said, I'm bored. I'm bored to death. I said, I don't like sitting down. I said, I watch YouTube, at a run. Anyway, I said, well, thank you ever so much. So he said, you've got to try and walk as normally as possible. The best thing you can do is go up and down on your toes, and just try. He said, if you need to strap it. If you can just walk as normally as possible, you might need crutches for a while. He said, it does take a long time to heal and it is painful. And he said, that's all there is to it. Why didn't they fucking just tell me that in the first place? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor and I don't understand all, I don't really get this. Well, firstly, they got the first one wrong, plantar fasciitis, but I've learned about it now. So if I ever get it, I think I'd probably know what to feel. And secondly, the good thing is that I won't need a jab, a really painful jab in my heel, which would be brilliant. So I can cancel that. And thirdly, the good thing is I now know what it is. I'm not sure how he actually tells. I'm assuming by the shape. He said by the shape of my ankle and the fact that it's sort of beginning to go out. He says, a nice big swelling there. He said the injury itself must have been quite deep because for it to take so long to sort of start showing, as it were. Well, anyway, that's all exhausting. Now, that's taken me 13 minutes. In the meantime of all this, I also had to have more blood tests because apparently I've got very high hyperchromatic cells. You see, I do everything awkwardly. And I did have to go and see my thyroid doctor today, who isn't going to see me for another year, which is great because in the last 6 months I put on about 8 pounds. So it gives me another year to lose that 8 pounds. It's going to be perfect, about the right time to go and see him again. It'll take me that long if I can be asked to do anything about it. I thought you might enjoy this video. And I can see that Rolo really can't stand it. Can't stand it. Do you like our little coffee room? Our little coffee shed. If anyone ever pops in, especially in the summer, tea and coffee at the ready. I won't even charge you, because I'm not like that. And if you were to damage yourself, you could come to me and I would look at every part of your body for free. I could give you a diagnosis probably. I've been on Google that long. Take care. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Bye.